This is our news, the weekend edition. And on the broadcast tonight, ministerial meetings increase over the coronavirus. Plus, the immigration minister defends the creation of that immigration task force. And later on, getting the KENDAL G.LISAACS gym back in operational condition.
Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Andrew Knowles, and thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight. As the world scrambles to deal with the rapid spread of the novel coronavirus, meetings have become far more frequent for a ministerial committee tasked with dealing with the threat to the Bahamas. National Security Minister Marvin Dames serves on that committee and said his ministry has been following the lead of the Ministry of Health with the necessary measures being put in place.
The objective is we have to stay a few steps ahead of this this problem. We don't want it to reach our shores, and we're doing all that we can to ensure that it doesn't reach our shores. And I say kudos to the Minister of Health and his team at the Ministry of Health for all the work that they're doing to keep the public appraised as to what's happening and what the government is doing.
Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands has been quoted as saying, "Not if, but when the coronavirus makes its way to the Bahamas, the country will be ready." Government has allocated $4 million in its fight against the deadly virus. Dames said with measures already in place, the government is continuously working to strengthen its plan to deal with it in the event a case of COVID-19 is found in the Bahamas.
But we're committed. I mean, we had a cabinet meeting yesterday on this, and so we're connected as a cabinet, led by our Prime Minister. And from day one, we've been at it. This is a very fluid situation. We recognize that, and as a result, we're trying to stay a few steps ahead.
Meantime, the Ministry of Tourism continues to work closely with the Ministry of Health to execute the country's preparedness and response plan for COVID-19. To date, there are no reported cases of coronavirus in the Bahamas. And while the Bahamas continues to welcome visitors, the Tourism Ministry is ensuring caution. It is actively employing several measures used globally to screen visitors and residents and to manage the response of individuals of concern in line with international health best practices. Traveler health questionnaires and a screen protocol are being used at ports, hotels, and rental properties to identify guests who may require surveillance or treatment. On Thursday, Iran, Italy, and South Korea were added to government's travel ban. Non-residents coming to the Bahamas who have been in any of those countries in the last 20 days will not be allowed entry into the Bahamas. As for returning residents who may have been in any of the countries in the last 20 days, they will face a 2-week quarantine. The Bahamas has also increased protocol for arrivals into cruise ports, as the ship's medical declarations of health is now required 24 hours in advance of landing. Well, in other news, Minister of Immigration Ellsworth Johnson defended the creation of an immigration task force earlier this week. Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis announced the creation of the task force last month as a means to strengthen and enforce immigration policies. Johnson said this is no way implies that the department is not doing its job.
No. And there is, as I always say, there are so many things that we're focusing on. And I'm always careful to say when you look at economic migrants, we go into a protection mode.
According to Johnson, as the Department of Immigration moves into the digital era, the task force is bound to find many more instances of immigration fraud.
As we digitize, we're scanning all our records in. I'm telling you, you will find much more persons with fraudulent documents. So they will be bringing their attention to so many other things that we cannot talk about. How do you come into this country? Apply and get emergency short-term work permits and just set up a business. And you get them for clerks and all that. So we had to go. When we got that information, they have to go quickly and look at this information. We were able to cancel all those work permits. We took those persons before the court, and we're going to put them on the restricted list.
And with work permit fees able to reach $15,000, Johnson said the task force will be tightening up to ensure that the government is collecting its due finances.
When the Prime Minister speaks about a task force, the task force is to look at everything to ensure that at the end of the day, one, that we're protecting persons, we're protecting this sovereign and democratic country, we're preserving the revenue and ensuring persons don't become a burden on the public purse. We're saying to the world that we understand and appreciate the concept of terrorism financing, anti-money laundering, and all those different things.
Police are appealing for the public's assistance in locating 3 wanted suspects for questioning and fraud investigations. The first suspect is 35-year-old Sherrod Seneca Russell of Heritage Subdivision, Grand Bahama. Russell is wanted for questioning by the Financial Crime Unit for fraud by false pretenses. He is described as dark brown, stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, and of slim build. Then there is 28-year-old Getchine Dagrin of Carmichael Road. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, of brown complexion and slim build. Dagrin is wanted for questioning for fraud by false marriage investigation. So is 39-year-old Osselin L'Esperance of Shirley Street. He is described to be of dark brown complexion, stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, and of medium build. Now, anyone who may have seen or know the whereabouts of any of these men are asked to contact the Financial Crime Unit at 356-6025 or CDU at 502-9991. And from the court beat, a man who admitted to receiving a stolen 18-carat Rolex Pearl Master watch wants to withdraw his guilty plea. 26-year-old Anthony McKenzie of McKinney Drive appeared before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt for sentencing in the matter yesterday, but he's had a change of heart and now wants to go to trial. Police allegedly found McKenzie with the Rolex valued at $117,600 that was part of the haul taken in a smash and grab robbery at the Rolex boutique at the Atlantis Resort on February 15th. Police recovered the watch when they stopped the occupants of a heavily tinted Nissan Cube on February 26. Police had also charged Perron McKinney, Derek Allen, and Carlicia Culmer with receiving the watch, but the charges were dropped against them after McKenzie pleaded guilty. However, the charges can be reinstated. When we come back, a massive cleanup underway at the KENDAL G.LISAACS gym. Plus, a former Grand Bahama MP slams reconstruction efforts on that island.
Hey, but Dubs.
Hey.
Speaking of ideas, though.
Ah!
Yes, solid idea, but.
Here we go again.
Joking, boy?
Murder? That on their passport, sir? You better even murder?
Hey, but you start. Just gotta be a blessing, boy, because ain't nobody that stupid to come here to lose their money. Losing money.
Gina T? On your right nipple, Gina? What is this?
Don't be what this is, store.
Heaven, Chrissy brothers, we gotta sing to you. Happy birthday from the Chrissy crew. We can buy one gun now, and all of us can share it.
I like him. He's funny.
You think that funny? Bum chicky, bum chicky, bum chicky, bum chicky, bum chicky. It's a birthday, bum chicky.
Next tonight, the KENDAL G.LISAACS Gymnasium is set to undergo major cleanup efforts, according to the sporting minister, who said the biggest challenge thus far has been sanitation. Giorgio Bain reports.
Following the passage of Hurricane Dorian, storm survivors who fled the storm-ravaged islands were originally housed at the KENDAL G.LISAACS gym. In recent weeks, those survivors have vacated the gym, and now a massive cleanup effort is underway, according to Youth, Sports and Culture Minister Lanisha Roll. Roll is expected to stop by with a team from the National Sporting Authority to conduct an assessment of the damage.
The government has made provisions via its supplementary budget to begin the restoration efforts at the NSA and the National Sports Authority facilities. And so we have begun. We have started to begin our sterilizing process of the entire gymnasium. Certainly, in addition to that, there are some repairs that are needed. There is an inspection scheduled, I think, by the end of the week. I will be there inspecting along with the chairman of the NSA.
Many sports enthusiasts have questioned when sporting activities will resume at the KENDAL G.LISAACS gym. Roll could not say, noting that it all depends on the level of work needed to get the gym up and running.
Well, they have presented some of their information, but we just want to see it for ourselves, what state it is in, and how quickly from there we will know how quickly we're able to have everything up and operational again. I think it would be sort of wear and tear. From the frequent usage of persons living in a facility, and so, but I can't exactly speak to it until I've actually seen it myself. But sterilizing was one of the most important things. Beginning to clean the environs. If you go there now, you'll see that they've begun to do that. The tents are down. They began cleaning down, and so we're just going to continue to make the environment as clean as possible, as safe as possible, and operational within the most expeditious time frame.
Roll could not say how much it is taking to make the necessary repairs, but she did say that the majority of the funds have been spent on sterilizing the space.
I know in the budget about $1.2 million was allocated to us to begin restoration efforts, and that's not only with the NSA, that's also with our Family Island, in particular Grand Bahama office that was totally sort of demolished to an extent in terms of the hurricane and all of our everything from that office. It was underwater, and so we're going to begin those things in a sort of structured format, but hopefully be able to give a timeline to you as soon as possible.
Reporting for our News Weekend Edition, I'm Georgie O'Bain.
Not good is how former West End and Bimini Member of Parliament Obi Wilshcombe is describing reconstruction efforts on that island. 6 months after the storm, Wilshcombe says it seems government has been too busy playing politics.
Sometimes you got to pull the politicians out of the game and let the experts deal with it. If you consider the fact that we've had the experience, you could have used other people to make things happen. We're still today with many people who are living with tar paper.
He added that poverty on the island is very high. He also slammed the decision by the Grand Bahama Power Company to increase electricity to assist with restoration efforts. He says government must step in.
On an island that has shown no growth in development economically, and an island that's struggling since the hurricane, and you're now going to talk about increasing the cost to the people who have little or nothing right now, I mean, something's wrong with that picture, and I think that the government must step in, and we should have a plan that incorporates a look at the economy of Grand Bahama.
Wilshcombe added, it seems government has no plan for that island.
There's no plan, and without a plan, you're not going anywhere. So you're just trying to replace and do the things that we did yesterday. Well, that's not progress. That's just doing what you did before, and that doesn't work. I think what's required is, and I think the Progressive Party brings that to the table now, because many of us have the experience and the knowledge now, and we're able to speak more authoritatively about certain things and bring a new plan to the island of Grand Bahama. That's what we want to do, because very clearly, Grand Bahama is going to struggle for a while.
Up next, a digital upgrade on tap for a primary school in North Andros, and determining the number of people living with Parkinson's in the Bahamas. So stay with us.
Check. So all you've been doing on this court was traveling. When you see me travel to go watch my free NBA pass game, I can come back out and smoke it. Spicy.
Free NBA pass.
You know what we have doing? Each month they send a lucky customer on an all-expense-paid trip to the States to watch a game. And even if you don't win that, you could have a local experience because they can pay for all your food and drinks and participate in bars, so you still have a good time, bro.
I can get in on that.
All you have to do is sign up for Trio and you enter the drawing. That don't lie.
Don't get denied like this guy. Make sure you come through in the clutch. Sign up for Trio and be a Rev NBA All-Star. Guarantee your chance to win a free trip to an NBA game every month when you sign up for Trio today. Call 601-8992. Terms and conditions apply. Rev, you and us together.
Welcome back to our news, the weekend edition. The primary school in Mastic Point, Andros is set to get a technology upgrade, with all students from preschool through grade 3 to receive a tablet. That according to Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, who added that teachers will also receive a laptop and a projector to ensure the groundwork is in place for digitization to occur. The Prime Minister was speaking at the Mastic Point Primary School renaming ceremony in honor of veteran educator Roselda M. Woodside yesterday. So far, the ministry has distributed 2,725 tablets, 123 laptops, and 133 projectors to students and teachers in various public schools. The Education Ministry has also partnered with 3 private preschools in North Andros and 2 private schools in Central Andros to increase the number of children who are able to receive free pre-primary education. More than 100 preschoolers in the North and Central Andros district are having their tuition paid by government to private preschools. Meantime, the Prime Minister applauded Mrs. Woodside for almost 6 decades of service, helping to mold the lives of thousands of Androsians, producing students of character and competence. Well, next month is observed globally as Parkinson's Disease Month, and the local Kingdor Parkinson's Foundation is gearing up to host various events as a means to sensitizing and educating the wider society of the condition. But just how many people suffer from Parkinson's in the Bahamas? Dr. Edwin Demerit says the answer has eluded them for quite some time.
We have struggled with trying to find that answer for quite a number of years and for a number of different reasons. When you look at the public system, it's paper records. If you look at the private systems, it's electronic medical records. However, the vast majority of people who have Parkinson's disease will fall within the public region. The average age life span of females in the Bahamas is still about 79 years, and for males it's 75 years. When we look at our population, 25 to 30% of them being above the age of 50, so you are going to find a significant amount of individuals who have Parkinson's disease.
Dr. Demerit estimates there are between 1,000 to 1,500 people living with Parkinson's disease in the country, although he believes it's a conservative figure, as an increasing number of Bahamians are being diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, the second most common neurodegenerative disease after Alzheimer's. However, Dr. Demerit is hopeful that within the next year, they will have more concrete numbers thanks to NHI.
Now, with the government initiative, the National Health Insurance, where people are looking at preventive care, it is on electronic record, and that's where they are aiming. So we will probably be a lot more able to say with certainty how many people have Parkinson's once we combine from all of the different areas now that you have electronic medical records. So I'm hoping that within the next year we can say reliably how many people have Parkinson's disease. Right now we're estimating probably somewhere between 1,000 to 1,500 people in the country have Parkinson's disease.
And just this reminder that we will sacrifice 1 hour less of sleep in exchange for longer evening daylight in the summer months. That's right, daylight saving time begins tomorrow at 2 a.m. So don't forget, your clocks will need to be turned forward 1 hour from 2 a.m. to 3 a.m.